Here we are. Just like a day before, we put the first C8 in water. We wanted to take everything we have learned from C7, our first boat, and make it even better. So we are looking at the probably the best boat in the world, if we could say that. The key learnings that we had from the first boat, C7, was that we wanted to work on the aerodynamics. If we look at the boat here, you see the very rounded shape. The whole boat is very round overall. And we also have these cleats and all the things that sort of are sticking out are not sticking out anymore. And that is all about reducing the air drag. So that was one of the key things we wanted to achieve. Another thing is that we wanted to make a boat that is good not only in foiling, but also very good in planing. So we really remade the whole hull. So if we watch under the boat here, you see a pretty high-tech hull shape. So we have several steps in the boat, one in the front, and then you have another one here. And this first step, we could also combine to make that like a garage for the front foil. And that makes it possible to retract the whole foil and have it above the water when we are in harbor. And that avoids all the growth that we could see on previous boats that you can have if it's in water for a long time. So a drastic change there. We can check out the aft as well. So the most efficient foiling boat has the center of gravity pretty much forward. But in a planing boat, you want to have it pretty much in the aft. And to overcome that conflict, we just cut sort of the piece of the boat that is in the water. So you see here the water leaves the boat when you go in planing mode. While the full boat length goes 1.2 meters more than that. And then we sort of get these two different conflict and centers of gravity to meet. And we get the boat that is very good in planing. Here you also see that we can retract the aft foil system fully, as we can do in the front. And that means that the new C-pod is fully protected and it's out the water when in harbor, meaning no growth on it. This also means that we can have an excellent performance if you go up on a beach, for example. Unlike any other boat, the motor is fully protected by the the underwater transom that you see here. Everything in this boat has been made very light. So we're building carbon overall, and we focus on really the details to push the limits of how light you can make the boat. One of the things we have developed is seats. Standard seats are incredibly heavy. It's hard to find one that is sort of below 15 kilos. So we said, let's do something that is 4 kilos instead. So we made this frame in carbon. That is sort of where the whole thing is built around. And then we made a very light shell. It's only 3 millimeters, and then we added some foam to that. So then we got a pretty cool seat, but it's also sort of the lightest seat ever seen in a boat. Another thing, the steering, it's all electric, meaning steer-by-wire system. And together with the screen, we had the opportunity to make this whole thing very clean. Everything we have in this boat, we control ourselves and have developed from scratch. We do the PCBAs, we do all the cabling, we do all the software. That means that we can control everything from the steering wheel and from the screen. And we don't need to have any sort of annoying type of instruments from different manufacturers. Instead, it's a fully integrated experience. As you can see here, you see the front foil system. So that is, when we cover this, going to be fully hidden. And you're going to see the front foils only when it's retracted. And that is, compared to C7, an improvement in terms of how we use the space.
One important aspect of the project, the C8 project, was not only to build the best boat in the world, but also to make it much more production-friendly than our old version, the C7. The C7 compiled a lot of carbon parts that were glued together. And to make this easier in C7, we combined this into bigger parts, so fewer operations and much easier to assemble. We also kept the hull open for installation, so the production team is much easier for them to install batteries and actuators and the cable harness before we put the deck on the boat.
At Candela, we're now a team of 70 people that have worked on this boat for 18 months. It has been a tough journey sometimes and extremely inspiring also. And the team behind this is, I would say, the brightest and the coolest team around. So I'm extremely proud to be able to put this boat in water. If you look on this from sort of the bigger picture, what we try to achieve here and have achieved at the end is to get a boat with 80% less energy consumption. 80%, that's a crazy number. It also means that we can make it electric and sort of get the full range and the full speed that you would expect from a boat. So we believe that this type of boat is what you're going to see in the future. So this is just the start, and we are expecting others to follow. And we will not stand still, of course, but I think this is really a fantastic step, and I'm so grateful for the entire team for having achieved this enormous thing.